Before we can fool AI, let's quickly break down how it works. Generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that can create content, whether it's text, images, music, or even video, based on patterns it has learned. You've probably interacted with AI models like GPT-4, DALL-E, and Mid-Journey. These models are trained using vast datasets from all over the internet. They analyze this information to predict what comes next in a sequence or how to generate new and original content based on prompts or input. But, while generative AI can be incredibly sophisticated, it isn't perfect. It's based on patterns, and those patterns can sometimes be exploited. It's essentially trying to be as accurate and human-like as possible. And that's where we come in. Like all tech, AI has limitations. It can get things wrong in some pretty predictable ways. First, AI doesn't have true understanding. It's only generating based on statistical probabilities, so it might miss context. For example, ask it to write a story about an astronaut with no space helmet, and it might still assume that helmetless astronaut can breathe in space. Next, there's a thing called AI hallucination. No, AI isn't seeing pink elephants, but sometimes it invents facts that are totally false. So if you push AI far enough with tricky questions or requests for rare information, it might just start making stuff up. And finally, AI can be biased. It learns from the data it's trained on, which means it can inherit all the flaws, mistakes, and even biases present in that data. Alright, now that we know AI isn't perfect, let's talk about how to mess with it. In good humor, of course. Here are some surefire ways to bamboozle generative AI. 1. Ambiguity is your friend. AI struggles with ambiguity. If you give it a prompt with unclear meaning, it may not know how to respond correctly. For example, if you ask, "What is the meaning of up?" without specifying a context, it might get confused. Is up a direction or an emotional state? 2. Push it into a niche. AI has its limits when you dive into obscure or overly specific topics. If you ask for details on an extremely rare topic like "tell me about the rarest underwater mushroom in the Baltic Sea," it might hit a wall or, better yet, make something up. 3. Self-contradictory prompts. One of the funniest ways to mess with AI is to give it prompts that contradict themselves. For example, ask it to write a short, long story or explain how a triangle has 4 sides. The AI will try its best, but it might get hilariously confused. 4. Looping logic. AI isn't great at handling loops or paradoxes. You can ask something like, "Can you prove that you cannot prove this statement?" It will try to answer but usually end up going in circles. Let's put some of these concepts into action. I'll use a popular text-based AI model to show how easily we can trip it up. Ready? Example 1, ambiguity. Host types, "Tell me about a bat." AI response, "Bats are mammals that fly. They are the only flying mammals. Additionally, a bat can be used to hit a ball in sports like baseball." Host reaction. See? The AI isn't sure whether I'm talking about the animal or the sports equipment, and it tries to cover both bases, pun intended. Example 2, paradoxical prompt. Host types. Write a song that is both happy and sad at the same time. AI response. "I'm feeling joyous but full of sorrow, laughing through the pain for tomorrow." Host reaction. The AI is trying really hard here to capture 2 emotions that contradict each other. It's doing its best, but the result is kind of awkward. Example 3, self-contradiction. Host types. Explain how water is both wet and dry at the same time. AI response. Water is wet due to its liquid nature, but under extreme cold, it can become dry as ice in a metaphorical sense. Host reaction. I have to give it credit, it's really trying to explain something that doesn't make sense, but the reasoning ends up being a bit shaky. Example 4, specific requests. Host types. Write me a sonnet about the microscopic ecosystem found inside a single grain of sand. AI response. In every grain of sand, a world doth lie unseen to naked eye beneath the sky. Host reaction, it did it. Sort of. The AI doesn't know a ton about microscopic ecosystems in sand, so it resorted to vague poetry. AI isn't just about text. Visual AI, like DALL-E or Mid-Journey, can generate some wild images. But you can also confuse these AIs with tricky prompts. For example, let's try asking for the impossible. Host types. Create a realistic picture of a triangle with 4 sides. The AI shows a picture that attempts to merge the properties of a triangle and square. This is pretty hilarious. The AI tried, but clearly triangles can't have 4 sides. Next, let's try blending concepts. Host types. Generate an image of a cat that is also a dog. The AI shows a confusing hybrid creature that looks neither entirely like a cat nor a dog. The AI is doing its best to blend features, but the result is something else. Finally, let's try optical illusions. Host types, create an image that is both a rabbit and a duck at the same time. A dual image optical illusion is created, but the form looks clumsy. Okay, this one is pretty interesting. The AI leaned into an optical illusion, but it's still not quite as refined as what a human might design. As fun as it is to confuse AI, there's an important point here. These models are learning from every interaction. When we confuse or bamboozle AI, we're not just showing its flaws. We're helping developers understand where improvements need to be made. Remember how I mentioned AI hallucinations? Researchers are actively working on reducing that issue, making these models more accurate every day. The more feedback and edge cases the AI encounters, the smarter it gets. So, while we're having fun today, it's also part of the grand experiment of making AI more reliable and intelligent. And who knows? One day it might just become bamboozle-proof. Now, a quick word on ethics. While it's fun to play tricks on AI, we should remember that AI is used in critical applications, everything from healthcare to education. Misleading AI or feeding it deliberately false information can have negative consequences if the AI is used for serious decision-making. That's why responsible AI usage and research is so important. If we're going to improve AI, we need to make sure that we're not just fooling it for fun, but actually contributing to its growth. Well folks, that's a wrap on how to bamboozle generative AI. We've explored some wild tricks, pushed AI to its limits, and had a good laugh at its responses. But at the end of the day, AI is still a tool, and like all tools, it's only as good as the way we use it. I hope you enjoyed this playful exploration of AI's limitations, and had some fun along the way. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more tech deep dives, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And remember, as AI gets smarter, the tricks to bamboozle it might become more complex, but at least for now, we've still got the upper hand. Thanks for watching and see you next time.